You guys are showing up en masse, and I absolutely appreciate it. Welcome to RISC-V Summit. Good morning. Good morning. I know. It's not that early. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for showing up and for committing yourselves and your interest to RISC-V. This is a monumental time in history, and we are so proud of the community we've built, the progress we've made, the momentum this is transpiring to in the marketplace. So thank you so much. I want to just remember what brings us together as societies, as nations, as companies, as collaborators, as developers, as engineers. Over time, we've encountered so many challenges as a globe, as a world, as an interconnected society. We've overcome economics. We've overcome pandemics. We've overcome the trials and tribulations that you might find with vendor lock-in. We've overcome many, many things together. And there are still great challenges going on in our world. There are wars going on. Wars that have influenced the ability for folks to engage in the things that their hearts and passions are dedicated to. And I just want to acknowledge that it's tough when we get the phone calls that say, I'm sorry, I can't be there in person. I need to be home, and I need to take care of my family, and I need to make sure that everything's okay. So I'm glad to bring us all together, and I'm glad to see and understand that it's the collaboration, it's coming together that brings us all forward. And so thank you for showing up. There are also challenges in our time, right? And I want to just take this head on, right? Global standards have underpinned the most important technologies that we've seen in the course of history. Whether it's USB or Ethernet, web protocols like HTTPS, these are the things that level the playing field, that allow us to innovate, that invite stakeholders from students to multinationals to engage in the lively competition to move the state-of-the-art forward, to compete effectively for business, and to really spur innovation. These are extremely important in technology, and the collaboration we bring to technology are the things that transcend those challenges in our path. So these are a few of the points that I articulated recently in my October 9th blog, and you can read more about these in that particular forum, and I'm absolutely happy to talk about these with anyone. But just remember that RISC-V is that open standard, is that next frontier that we're embarking on together. And this is an important time for us to think about, how does RISC-V play out in that global landscape? Well, as you've heard us say before, RISC-V is absolutely inevitable. We're already in billions of cores around the world, and some analysts have even pointed out that it's actually getting hard to find any new design starts that don't include RISC-V. It is the flexibility, it is the modularity that really enables that state-of-the-art to come to fruition. It enables that performance. It enables low power. It enables the potential to meet all of the design constraints that you face in the workload challenges that you're wishing to meet. And we're fast building the most profound ecosystem as fast as possible, because it is the collective interest of all of us. It is the collective investment of companies around the world who are contributing to that future. And we want to ensure that that collective future includes all of us. So let's get to the good news. We are absolutely on a growth curve. I love charts like this, right? We're growing at more than 40%. Granted, it's on a smaller base than other architectures. But that growth is just unbridled and unseen before in history. We are going to be in more than 16 billion SoCs, not cores, SoCs. So imagine how many cores are in those SoCs by 2030. This is a report that the SHD group is bringing out this month. This is absolutely fresh analyst insight. And by the way, they're going to be giving a talk in the demo theater on the expo show floor. So I invite you to hear firsthand and get deeper into the potential and where this is going. You look at this. Well, how does that distribute across different types of workloads, different industries, different implementations? You look at this chart, and you don't even have to squint to see that more than a quarter of all of these major spaces are looking at RISC-V. RISC-V is absolutely cementing itself in history and for generations to come as the most profound technical revolution of our time. We have a lot to be proud of and a lot of future in front of us. So I'm proud to be part of that. RISC-V is here today. You think about the number of new RISC-V processors that we've seen come to market. By the way, this would become a real eye chart if I captured all of them, but I wanted to highlight a few. We started in embedded, and we have now grown across all types of compute, from the lowest power, lightest weight compute at the very far reaches of data ingest, all the way through to high performance and other types of implementations for data center, for cloud. These are the types of things that we as a community can be proud of as we together support the innovations that so many companies around the world are bringing to market. You look at some of the performance dimensions that our peers in the community are achieving, and it's based on that modularity. It's based on the promise that you can truly customize the design to fit the workload constraints and opportunities that you're going after. This brings on applications. Applications are essential to realizing the profound advantages that you can gain from RISC-V. Finely tuning your workload to work on RISC-V is something that is paramount across industries and different types of workloads. So this year, we've seen different implementations from smallest embedded devices to laptops to servers. And these are the things that are ushering in that next frontier, whether it is acceleration, artificial intelligence, which seems to be infused in just about everything, mobile, looking at 5G infrastructure, handsets, and many other types of workloads, from those high power to those low power. This is ushering in the next wave of developers. We've heard more and more about Android on RISC-V. That is now fully supported. And we're looking at different types of developers that come with those ecosystems. We're working hard in RISC-V to ease that on-ramp, to accelerate that on-ramp, to ensure that everyone has great opportunity to highly optimize and tune their workloads to RISC-V. Now, that also means IC designers, looking at design verification and other attributes such as Paris is brought to market. And many of these others, such as our developer boards. Developer boards are very important, and we'll get to that in a second. But let's look at some of these industries. So automotive. Automotive really latched onto RISC-V over the last year and a half, and we're continuing to see this grow. I used to say, well, RISC-V is going to be 10% of automotive. We've updated those numbers, and now SHD Group is telling us 27% of automotive AI acceleration by 2030. 2030 is just around the corner, and hardware takes time. That is a profound leap forward for RISC-V and for all of us who are engaged in this important space. But RISC-V really delivers on many aspects that are extremely important in automotive. So ranging from all the compute applications around the vehicle and enabling that supply chain to work more closely together. That innovation, differentiation, and ability to kind of look at different vendors without lock-in to one particular strategic agenda of a vendor. That ecosystem then spurs choice. Choice to really go with best-in-class, latest differentiation, most profound innovations. For those of you in the back, we've got lots of seats over here. You're going to want to stay for this whole show. Data center and cloud. So many of our workloads depend deeply on the aspects of cloud computing. And this includes accelerators. This includes the competitive capabilities that data centers and clouds seek to deliver to their users, seek to deliver to their key constituents. And this enables custom compute. This enables companies who rely on those cloud resources to really be state-of-the-art in their particular domain. And this is a great opportunity for all of us to engage in that space. That includes performance, it includes security, it includes all the essential aspects of modern-day computing. Telecom and consumer devices. This is an area where we see RISC-V moving into 20% of communications 5G infrastructure by 2030. This is an incredible space and an incredible opportunity. As we all know, the number of processors in any one chip can be dozens. RISC-V is already in many of those types of capabilities. It may not immediately be seen as some of the central processing, but we're just very short period of time away from that. This is a critical time for us to come together and see how can RISC-V really help differentiate in the infrastructure as Android applications can come down and now optimize directly to RISC-V and allow that diversity, that competitive value in handsets themselves. IoT. The Internet of Things continues to be a high-growth space, and we're looking at capturing more than a quarter of that market by 2025. That is very close at hand. We're 2 years out from that. And the number of RISC-V processors in IoT is projected to be 20 billion by 2028. This is where we achieve volume, where we achieve scale, and we're seeing that. And that includes things like advanced processing, workloads like AI to run at the edge, conserving compute power back in the data center, back in the cloud. This is a great fit for security. Security starts with transparency. And RISC-V enables and allows for and provides transparency and building security in as we go. That security is paramount to all of our workloads. And something that we have been working on and honing for more than 10 years is part of the security initiatives that we have. That streamlined instruction set also allows for many of the compact code and performance efficiencies that you can get through modular design. That energy efficiency then translates to the workload itself. Ecosystems and developers. So as a community, we are continuing to grow very fast. We've grown already more than 24% in 2023, and we still have a couple of months to go. As more than 4,000 members, evenly distributed around the world. RISC-V is not driven by one geography. RISC-V is a global effort, global contributions coming from about 1/3 North America, 1/3 Europe, and 1/3 APAC. You've heard me say that before. It's because we're consistent. We're consistently engaging and growing around the world. And this is something that we see in the stakeholders that are active in our community, actively making contributions not just to RISC-V, but upstream into existing repositories. This is something that enables all of us to achieve the innovation, differentiation, and unique workloads to be competitive in that global space. That ecosystem is continuing to grow. These logos are getting smaller and smaller as we add more and more. Good news is we can now dynamically generate our ecosystem landscape. This is something where if you don't see your logo on here, let us know. We'll feed it into the map. That ecosystem is essential. We have so many stakeholders that represent our collective interests. We really are one global community of folks who take on different parts of that mission, who bring workloads and software and applications to optimize deeply to the RISC-V architecture. And this is something that we see profound investment in. The stakeholders that have been with us for years are now deepening their investments, and we continue to see the influx of more and more workloads coming onto RISC-V. So we're supporting that. As RISC-V International, we are bringing on various programs to support our developers. We have development partner program, developer boards, where we seek to distribute hundreds of developer boards out into the software community. We have RISC-V labs. Labs are really important. They take discrete parts of our mission and say, you know what? They raise a hand and say, let me take care of that. This is essential to us. This is essential to the community. This is essential to the shared success that we are all looking for in RISC-V. Developer boards. Okay, they don't all fit on a page, but we have more than 40 developer boards that have been submitted to be in our developer zone. And this developer zone is something you can see on our show floor. It's sort of like the touch tank at the aquarium, right? Like, go, check it out. Have a look at all these great hardware implementations. This is hard work that our community has brought to bear. This is the type of thing that enables our development community, developers around the world, to really hands-on get that experience. This is the type of program that allows for universities to fine-tune their courses and classes over to RISC-V. RISC-V is the only architecture that you can take from idea to tape out. That is a profound opportunity for students and engineers who are embarking on their career to realize a future in hardware design, a future in fine-tuning applications to the underlying hardware. And we're continuing to cultivate talent. Talent is one of the most essential pieces of our ecosystem. We do that through engagement of our Academia SIG that engages universities around the world to shoring up talent for RISC-V. RISC-V is an area where there's an ebb and flow a bit with economics, but there are more design houses on RISC-V now than in any other architecture in history. Those design houses need talent, and we're here to support that, both with our university engagement as well as our learning programs. We've seen, since we've launched this program in 2021, more than 26,000 registrations across our different Learn programs. More than 8,000 this year alone. This is a program that can help folks who are new in their career, mid-level in their career, or even later, get their hands on and become proficient and expert in RISC-V. We're continuing to work with other organizations. Just as we say, hey, don't go it alone. Collaborate, find colleagues, engage in development partnerships. We do as well. We work with organizations around the world, whether they're focused on geographic initiatives, as we see in the European Union around many of their grants. We work with industry associations that may be focused on specific areas like telecom or different types of automotive applications or security. We focus on domain-specific areas essential to cultivating and shoring up those resources. You heard us announce RISE earlier this year. RISE is an important area where it's a directed fund to go up and look at different tools and software that is essential for RISC-V. We hear from the industry about different joint ventures like we saw with Bosch, Infineon, Nordic, NXP, and Qualcomm coming together to say, you know what, let's invest together. Let's research together. Let's implement together on RISC-V. These are important activities that are going on around the world, and that's something that is helping to spur all of us forward. That is, again, collective investment. I love that there's, by the way, a ring of people around the back of the room. Guys, come have a seat. You're going to want to stay for the whole show. So I invite you, I implore you, engage in RISC-V. Engage in this community. This community has so much to offer for your success, your leadership. Elevating your industry leadership is something that we can do together with you. We have special interest groups, SIGs. Those are focused on the technical aspects that are needed for a particular industry. We also now have market development groups. Market development groups that are catalyzing the important stories, the important aspects, the new frontiers that are being tackled across the industry, really looking at what the customer needs are, the end users, and thinking about what does it take to serve in automotive? What does it take to bring RISC-V to data center? Those are two of the market development groups that we've launched this year. Align yourselves with those. Align yourself for industry leadership, because it is the breadth and scale of this community that will then bring that visibility to you. This is really important. Build your strategic network. Make new friends at conferences. Engage together, roll up sleeves, hands-on code, and make new friends within the work groups. Yesterday we had Member Day. Member Day was a great time for us to host the many different technical work groups as well as marketing groups to come together and engage deeply with one another. Many folks who had not seen each other in person over the last few years based on our usual rate and pace of conducting things online. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to bring this community together. So think about how you can leverage your networks to seed your pipeline. At the end of the day, you don't select RISC-V because of solely because of the technical aspects. You select it because of the technical aspects, the market opportunity, the ability to differentiate, the pipeline of customers that you're bringing on. This is a holistic business strategy. This is not just one piece or part to fit into another strategy. This is the strategy. That business ROI is something that we can help support. In fact, it is your wild success that matters most to us. Your success as a university professor, fine-tuning your course to RISC-V, as a new startup who is building your business on RISC-V, as a multinational who is looking for the state-of-the-art to infuse into your strategy, to tackle new workloads, to embark on some of those new growth areas. This is an area where you can accelerate your technical traction by infusing your thought leadership into the specifications as we ratify them. Join us in the kitchen, right? Bring your ingredients and say, you know what, this is what the foundation of computing should be for generations to come. It's important to have your voice at that table. This is also an area to build your technical leadership, build your eminence across the industry. So this is our time. RISC-V, this is our time. This is your home. These are your people. This is the future that we are crafting together. I want to take a minute to thank our sponsors. The sponsors of this event have made it possible for more than 1,000 of us to come together. We're proud of this community. We're so grateful to the support that has been given to this event. And this is the future. This is the future, and I'm glad to be here with you. I hope that you'll engage deeply in the summit to come, and thank you for your time.